Hello, how are we today? Going to do a face-off today between these two German razors. This one is called Es-Ese. Again, pronunciation. It says the famous Es-Ese razor, and I'm damn near sure these are an urn. I've never shaved one of these. I reckon I've got two in the background somewhere and all. It's got a few marks on it and everything, but these are a wonderful shape razor, let's put it that way. This one's completely shoulderless. Yeah, this one's completely shoulderless, completely stabilizerless. They're about 20 mil, I forget now. And I'm sure it's an urn. I'm sure it is. And the other one I've got today is, again, I think this might be an urn. But anyway, it's a Hamburg ring. It's got bone scales. Bone scales are not quite fine. They've got sort of like the bony pitting, I call it, from just, you know, getting old, like me. And it says on it, Hamburg ring, that's on the face of the blade. Finest Sheffield steel, forged and real hollow ground in Germany. So this might be Kaiser steel, possibly, because you find a lot of Kaiser Ellison steel. And again, this is basically nearly the same pattern. Nearly. See it? This one's got a tiny little shoulder on it. Really small one. Yeah, so I thought I'd pick these two today because they're very similar. And I shave with so many razors that are dissimilar to one another. I thought today, let's try and find two that are kind of similar. I ain't got that many razors ready this week because I've been kind of going down, they call it the rabbit hole when you find a new subject that you want to delve into. Well, I call it hellhole. So I bought that Chinese Forest a couple of weeks ago now, and then because I honed the razor with that, shaved with it, and it was alright, but I had sort of what you could call maybe 3 or 4 finishes sitting in the background, not knowing what to do with them, other than possibly I should have just like honed on them and shaved off of them. But every time I honed them, basically I just kept on thinking, oh, the scratch pattern is just not good, man. So I just abandoned them and just went straight back to my 12K. And I think sometimes with their 12K synthetics, you get a bit of a false perspective on like a cutting edge, because they damn near give well, it's a mirror finish nearly. I don't think it's that far off of it. It really does, like, you can see things in it. But then when you go on to the naturals as finishes, it kind of like puts your mind out of cock a little bit, if you know what I mean. But lo and behold, sometimes that 12,000 can be too sharp on some razors, a bit too keen, like a bit too bitey even. And you know, some of these naturals, it's almost like they tang the edge. So anyway, I've got like 3 or 4 stones that I've been playing around with, and because I've been playing around with them, it means I ain't been getting many razors ready. That's not to say I ain't got a load of razors ready to go, because I've always got razors that need test shaving. But lo and behold, I've only got one face. Be handy if I could find somebody local I could trust who wanted to be a test shaver for me. Be great. Means I could get more razors out. Right. So yeah, done a normal routine. I've stropped off a camera. They were fine stropping. I like stropping them blades, that kind of grind pattern, and that, it's good, man. Actually, let's just check the grind on them, see if they're both the same. I kind of imagine they was, but sometimes you get more of like a half hollow. Right, so yeah, they are nearly the same. I'd say the Ese, whatever it is got less of a hollow, let's say that. Yeah. Ever so slightly. There's not much in it. So we'll say they're more or less the same, which again is what I wanted today. Yeah, so I've been going down the rabbit hole of naturals, and I've got a purple Welsh slate that's proper hard. I've got a Turrington, not a branded Escher one, if that's the right way of saying it, but. And then I've got a dark stone that I'm not too sure what it is. It might be a Arkansas, you right?
Yeah.
An Arkansas, and then I've got one that looks a little bit like a Tammy Shanta, but it feels finer, and it seems to put a finer edge on things. So yeah, anyway, I've got enough to keep me occupied. And I've decided to sell all my safety razors. I think I mentioned that briefly in the last video, but yeah, I'm definitely going to sell all my safety razors now, because I've got a CV Lava Chaser, I think they kind of nicknamed them, coming. So that's going to be my razor now. That effectively takes little straight razor wedged blades within it. And I've got the 7 days set with a strap and everything. Like, I paid a pretty penny for it, weren't cheap. But it looks like it's never been used. So that's my forever razor. That's for when if I'm blessed to get old and doddery enough not to use a straight. It means I'll still be able to shave myself. That's something that, well, is actually just as good as a straight from what I've been reading. And these wedge type safety blades, safety razors, they come in many forms. I think CV actually ripped off Gem, because Gem didn't do, what's it called? Is it copyright or trademark? I think it's trademark. And they didn't trademark the Gem razor in Sweden, so it meant that CV could still, Mr. Carl Victor, could still do as he pleased with the pattern. And like, frankly, I've looked at it and don't look no different. The only thing that is different, my dear sirs, is the blade. CV's have got Swedish steel blades, whereas the Gems, I'm not sure about. Like, in that period, Sheffield was still importing a hell of a lot of Swedish ore steel, because supposedly a lot of steel from kind of that era was actually Swedish steel. That's definitely the brands that were what we call good brands, Joseph Rogers and Wollaston, and you know, the good ones. Right, let's have a little look. Oh damn, I just dropped water in the whole of look, it won't open. Right, let's have a go with this Hamburg ring. I've not actually shown many Hamburg rings, but everybody says they're great razors on the whole. Oh, I didn't check that, I normally always check that. So the Hamburg ring razors, they were known for their bellies, from what I've read, and you can feel the belly. It's not as prominent as one of the Hengel's 72s I've got. That's really prominent on that. That's a bloody good shave, that is. That's thick there on that one. But yeah, this one's little belly. Let's check the other one. Nice and quick. There's this. See, that one ain't really got one, so I am shaving with different block grinds slightly, that is guaranteed. Smooth as baby's bum already. It's one of them razors, when you're honing it, you kind of know it's going to be okay. It kind of tells you. Tip's good. Probably go a little bit sharper with that, but that's a comfortable shave, no doubt. But it could probably be a little bit sharper. Might have a little investigations on it. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. We'll know more when we go against the grain. That always shows your razor up. But yeah, it's nice. So I'm excited to get that CV. Oh, listen to that. See, that's without the belly, you see? So even though the grinds are very similar, and from memory this had a slightly that's a lovely razor, that one. I knew one of these was going to be a corker, and that's the Es-Ese. The Es-Ese. Lovely juggling, that's good. Yeah, that's a really good razor, man. So I mean, I like them patterns, them grinds are good, man. They're just good all round, nearly guaranteed, utilitarian razor shape. Like if the geometry sound, what's going on? Yeah. If the geometry sound, they sit flat both ways, both sides on the plates, you know you're in for quite a good razor, as long as there's enough metal on it and somebody ain't hammered it with the high speed grinders or whatever, polishers, which I may add I would never use, because you don't need to use them to get a razor back in working condition. At the end of the day, if it's real battered and bruised, well, just pick another one to restore.
Found a Christmas card.
Oh yeah, I see, you found it, yeah.
Mummy gave it to me, and when she come from back from work, she gave that me and for Christmas come and looking at the stage, and I brought it home with me.
Lovely.
And then put it in the safe pocket.
That is marvellous, darling.
Mummy, Daddy.
Right, so go against the grain now.
Daddy. Daddy. Daddy.
So it's definitely sharp enough. Like I said, if your razor's not quite sharp enough, if you go against the grain, it'll always show itself up. If you're just starting out on shaving and stuff with a straight razor, I seriously recommend you do not go against the grain for a good while, because if your technique is not half decent, it might actually put you off shaving with a straight razor, because you know, for one, if your shaver's not bob on, it'll go a bit juddery.
It's in my pocket. I just put my hoodie on.
You just put your hoodie on.
Because I yeah, I was cold.
Dad gone at work again?
Daddy put the heating on down.
Have you put the smoking down on yet?
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm especially happy with the Es-Ese, whatever it is. It's spelled E-S dash, I forget what that line is actually. E-S-E. Es-Ese. I suppose in a way it's trying to say easy razor and easy shave, which for sure that is. You could beautify it more. You could get the old wet and dry sandpaper on it. You could, you know, start off at 1200 or whatever and go upwards, small increments going upwards. Make sure you get the scratch pattern out of the last one, and you get it shiny more. But to me, that's not what it's about. It's about saving razors, get him shaving again, get him out there, especially getting these newbies shaving, wet shaving proper. Last week I think I helped 3 people. I'm unsure their ages, you know what I mean? But 3 people, get shaving, and I'll tell you what, that's a nice feeling that is, because that's the whole reason I do this. I certainly don't like looking at myself in the bloody camera, that's for sure. And I'm forced to do that just to make sure I can see myself. It's not natural to me at all. I don't look back at my videos at all. They're completely unedited for that reason. The only thing I do is look at the beginning of it just to make sure I've got the right razors. Right, I'm gonna love you and leave you. It's a nice shave. I think that the Es-Ese one, the Hamburg ring, weren't that far behind. I will give it a quick look under the microscope just to make sure I've not missed anything. Might just need a bit more of a strop. You get that sometimes when you get off the stones. You need to give some razors a bit more of a strop. Sometimes I've got a little one of them, what are they called? Like a little paddle strop that's got the adjuster thing, so you can make it tighter and that. You're always meant to have it tight, by the way. Unless you've got a really German hollow belly, I think, actually. Yeah, and I've got like a green pasted side on one side, and I've got some diamond that's 0.25 or 0.25, whatever it is. So sometimes if I have one off the stones just like that, you put it over that paddle strop for a little bit, and is it called a paddle strop? Oh, I forget now. And yeah, it can sort the edge out for you, kind of thing. Anyway, I hope you've had a good day. That's another shave ticked off. That's another 2 razors that I can potentially get back out into the world. And I'll await this CV lava chaser. We used to have things called chicken chasers when we were kids, and they were like these little mopeds things that you just make them, almost made them. Whenever I say lava chaser, I always think chicken chaser. Anyway, the youth, eh? Our youth. Right, toodaloo. Curry for me tonight. See you later.